Happy Mario Day, everyone. My name is Chase and these are my hands. To celebrate Mario Day today, I thought it would be fun to look through pretty much every Mario game that is on the Nintendo Switch. With the Nintendo Switch 2 right around the corner, I think we've pretty much seen all of the Mario that we will be getting exclusively on the Switch 1. Maybe we'll get more Mario in the near future, you know, whether it's dual platform releases on Switch 1 and 2, or maybe Nintendo will continue supporting Switch 1 while Switch 2 is out, similar to what they did with the 3DS while the Switch was out. In any case, these are pretty much all of the Mario games on Switch 1 prior to the Switch 2. So to start things out, I think this was actually the first Mario game ever on the Switch, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is funny because this was the first Mario game that came out for the Switch, and it is the most successful Mario game that came out on the Switch. In fact, maybe even the most successful Mario game that has ever come out in history. This game just continues to sell and sell. I guess probably because, you know, everybody loves Mario Kart. You ask any old stranger on the street if they like Mario Kart, the number one answer will be, why are you talking to me? But I think the second most popular answer will be that yes, they like Mario Kart, or at least that they have played Mario Kart in the past. But yeah, I mean, this is just a fun little game, you know, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It takes Mario Kart 8 and pretty much makes it as complete as possible. We have the new battle mode that wasn't even in the original Mario Kart 8. We have a few new characters, some little features like the smart steering, you know, we got new items as well. And of course the booster course pass, which, you know, just doubles the amount of courses in this game. So this is pretty much like the definitive Mario Kart, and, you know, I think it's honestly kind of reasonable that this is the only Mario Kart game we've gotten on the Switch besides, you know, Mario Kart Home or anything like that. Funnily enough, in the same first year that we got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you know, the best-selling Switch game ever, we also got our first 3D Mario game on the Switch with Super Mario Odyssey. And actually, since there are so many Mario games on the Switch, as we'll see shortly, I just want to kind of talk about, you know, groups of Mario games, because it's surprising how many similar Mario games we've gotten in, you know, different genres or different types of games. So for this, we obviously have the 3D Mario games on Switch. Again, we had Super Mario Odyssey, which was this like amazing 3D Mario that had these giant worlds. It's pretty much the closest, I think, to an open world Mario game that we've gotten so far. There are still some, you know, linear mechanics to the game, but, you know, with the giant kingdoms, it really does feel almost like an open world Mario game. We can also talk about Super Mario 3D All-Stars. This game was revealed and released for Mario's 35th anniversary. Actually, crazily enough, I forgot to mention, besides today being Mario Day, 2025 is going to be Mario's 40th anniversary. Crazy, because I feel like we just got this game, we just got that Mario 35th Direct, and that felt like yesterday. In any case, this game takes three of, I think, the most necessary 3D Mario games that there are. Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy. I know a lot of people wish that they included, you know, Mario 3D Land or Mario Galaxy 2. Myself included, I would have loved to see those games on Switch. But as per Scott the Woz, I think he made a really good point. Even if they did at least include Mario Galaxy 2 in this pack, it would have meant that Super Mario 3D All-Stars is just 50% Mario Galaxy. And looking at it in those terms, I think it's fair that they didn't include Mario Galaxy 2. For the most part, these are just kind of like up-resed versions of these games. I feel like each of these games got their own sort of upgrades, and, you know, I think some feel more upgraded than others. Definitely for me, like looking back at this, the fact that Super Mario 64 is still 4x3, you know, it's still the same like N64 polygon graphics. I kind of wish it got more of an upgrade, but I don't know. You get these three games and they are just the most classic 3D Mario games. Whatever, I still had really fun playing through these games. Really crazy that they stopped selling this, although, I don't know, by the time I post this video, did they re-release Mario 3D All-Stars? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, and it was really crazy because I remember when Mario 3D All-Stars came out and they announced the date that they would be discontinuing this game. I still remember there were like loads and loads of copies of this game on the Best Buy shelves. But yeah, I don't know. It was cool to get, you know, these classic games on the Switch. And speaking of classic games on the Switch, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. I don't know if I'm in the minority, but I actually really loved Super Mario 3D World. I know when this game was first announced on the Wii U, there was a bit of backlash regarding, the fact that everybody wanted Mario Galaxy 3, Super Mario 3D World just looked like Super Mario 3D Land now on the Wii U. But I'll never forget, the first time I played this game was with my cousins, and it was so much fun. Like, I was having such a blast playing through this game. But in the Switch version, of course, they also include a whole nother extra, I guess mini sort of game. Bowser's Fury was a really cool 3D Mario game. Again, it was like kind of, I would say like half a game or something, but this was another game where it felt like an open world 3D Mario game. Granted, it was kind of like one area with one theme, It was more or less just kind of a beach area, surrounded by water. But still, like, you could just travel anywhere, and there were a whole bunch of cat shines that you could collect. Bowser's Fury is super awesome. I had so much fun, and I hope that this is kind of the direction that they go for in the next 3D Mario game. But on the other end of the spectrum, how about 2D Mario games? I have a very, I guess, complicated stance on Super Mario Maker in general. I'm not super creative when it comes to like level design or, game creation or anything like that. So whenever it came to Mario Maker, even Mario Maker 1 on the Wii U, I was never the biggest fan of the game, mainly like the sort of create part of it. I just like to see the levels that people would make, and even then, like, I don't know, I'm such like a basic sort of, I'm easily amused by 2D Mario. My favorite types of levels are just the ones that feel like they were made by Nintendo. Like, I think the crazy ones where it's like a whole bunch of Goombas all over the place, or, a million different Bowsers that you have to run away from at the same time or something like that. They're cool, like they're a neat little gimmick or sort of novelty. But for me, I don't know, I just like the ones where it feels like you're playing a 2D Mario game made by Nintendo. So with Mario Maker and Mario Maker 2, I wasn't like the biggest fan of the game. Like, I didn't spend lots and lots of hours in the game. Although Mario Maker 2 was pretty cool because they did have sort of like a story mode, and obviously, so those levels were made by Nintendo. They were a bit more sort of out of the box, which I think was kind of cool. But I would say sort of the main bummer with Mario Maker 2 is the fact that with Mario Maker 1 on the Wii U, you obviously had the Wii U gamepad to make all of your levels on. With Mario Maker 2 on the Switch, there's no gamepad obviously. So you either have to take the Switch out of the dock and make your levels on the Switch and then, put it back in the dock and then play it on the TV, or you would have to like use either the controls on the Joy-Con, or I think you could use motion control. I don't know, I didn't make any levels in Mario Maker 2, I'm not gonna lie. I would say another cool thing about this game is the inclusion of Super Mario 3D World as one of the graphic styles. I just thought it was really fun to see how they adapted Mario 3D World into a 2D game. Of course, this was before we even had Super Mario 3D World on the Switch, which, made it even more funny. In any case, we got New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. As the name would imply, this takes New Super Mario Bros. U and combines it with New Super Luigi U to make like the definitive edition of New Super Mario Bros. U. Although there's a case to be made that this isn't the definitive edition of Mario Bros. U. Sidebar, can I just say, I think it's really funny that we can't escape the freaking Wii U even on the Switch. We go from the depressing times of the Wii U to the really happy and, successful times of the Switch, and we just have this gosh darn U that we can't escape. You would think this game would have, just a very simple and basic sort of end goal. Take Mario U and Luigi U, combine them together, make one great package like this. However, they went in and changed some things about the actual gameplay, which I think is kind of hit or miss. I guess the main two things that either make or break this game are the inclusion of Nabbit as a playable character even in the original Mario U, and then also the inclusion of Peachette. So you have these gimmick characters that are supposed to make the game easier. However, I just kind of imagine people who want a very straightforward Mario game and don't want these characters who, dumb down the gameplay even more with the Mario game. So I don't know, I like some of the changes that they made in this version, I think can be, either hit or miss. There was also the drama around this game being a full-priced game when you could still get New Super Mario Bros. U and New Super Luigi U on the Wii U for much cheaper. And funnily enough, the price issue is an issue we would continue to see with future Switch games after this one. Anyway, we got a proper 2D Mario game on the Switch with Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which was like such a nice breath of fresh air for the 2D Mario series. Don't get me wrong, I am such a sucker for 2D Mario. If they just re-released new Super Mario Bros. U over and over again, I would honestly play it. I love 2D Mario, I don't know, it just like kind of scratches a part of my brain. But luckily they gave us something completely different with Super Mario Bros. Wonder. This game is just weird, I mean, look at this cover. We have Elephant Mario and, you know, all these crazy things going on. Yeah, I honestly don't really know what else to say about Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Again, I just think it's such a nice breath of fresh air from the new Super Mario Bros. Series where, like, that was getting a little bit repetitive. I mean, you know, I think they could have totally just continued to make more new Super Mario Bros. Games, and suckers like me would buy them. So I think it's even cooler that they decided to, you know, just start completely fresh and do something completely different. Love Mario Wonder. This is a super great 2D Mario game, and it's really cool that, you know, there's a 2D Mario game that I think the Switch can completely call its own. And I don't know, this isn't really a 2D Mario game, but it is a Mario game that is in 2D. Mario vs. Donkey Kong. This is a remake of the classic Game Boy Advance game. Actually, since I'm making this video on Mario Day, you can pick up this game on sale, which I think is really nice because I think this game should have been $40 or cheaper to begin with. Like, don't get me wrong, I think this is a totally fine game. In fact, I would say it's quite good. After playing it, I just kind of like sat there and I was like, I don't know if this is worth a full $60 because, you know, it's based on a Game Boy Advance game, obviously. However, they did add some stuff, like they added 2 whole new worlds. They added a 2-player game mode. Like, they made some changes to the game, but I don't know if it's like the length of the game or, you know, what is really sort of holding me back from saying this is worth $60, but at least it's pretty fun. I was never the biggest fan of these sort of puzzle-based Mario versus Donkey Kong types of games, and I quite enjoyed it. But I don't know, once again, go pick it up on sale. Speaking of Mario games on sale, I feel like you can probably find these games on sale like most of the time. The Mario plus Rabbids games. I remember when this game, well, originally it got leaked, and I just like couldn't believe my eyes of what I was seeing. When we actually saw it revealed and we saw some of the gameplay, I wasn't the biggest fan, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, even now, I will say, I don't know if this is like my favorite type of gameplay. It's sort of a real-time strategy, kind of, you know, like XCOM. I mean, it was very interesting, like as a first sort of like experiment with this type of game. It was cool to see, you know, Mario with the Rabbids in a totally different type of gameplay, which made it more confusing when we got Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Like, this was cool as a gimmick and sort of a novelty. Getting a sequel, I don't know if anybody was like clamoring for a sequel to this game. Don't get me wrong, I love when Nintendo does sort of out of the box things like this. It just kind of made it a bit harder to really care about Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. And like I said before, luckily I got this game on sale. I haven't actually finished this game, but as far as I can tell, it takes sort of, you know, the gameplay of Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle and just kind of like adds on top of it, along with some features that I think were sort of in response to some of the complaints of the first game. So like, for example, there are actually difficulty levels that you can choose for Sparks of Hope, which I really appreciated. I am totally stuck in Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. There's a boss battle that I'm on that I just can't get past. Like, I've tried so many times and I just can't do it. So I'm honestly glad that Sparks of Hope has, you know, different difficulty options. But those are 2 games on the Switch that I never would have thought we would ever get in my lifetime. Speaking of games that I never thought we would get in my lifetime, we have Mario Sports. So we got a total of 3 Mario Sports games on the Switch. I think it made sense that we got Mario Tennis Aces. Like, I don't know, it seems like tennis is the one that Nintendo always sort of gravitates to for Mario Sports games. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Mario's Tennis was the first ever Mario Sports game we ever got, and that was on the Virtual Boy. So I don't know, I just always consider Mario Tennis to be like the de facto Mario Mario sports game that Nintendo continues to make. And especially with Mario Tennis Aces, it felt like they had a lot to sort of prove, because the last Mario Tennis game before this, you know, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash on the Wii U, was such a downer. I don't know, for the most part, I think Mario Tennis Aces is okay. I do wish that the game had more sort of like character to it. Like, that was the coolest thing about Mario Tennis on the GameCube, and I forget the tagline at this point, but I just loved how much character that game had. I mean, heck, we had a full-on cutscene with Wario and Waluigi, but like even all of the sort of side game modes, you know, there was a whole bunch of just fun types of other gameplay. With Mario Tennis Aces, you know, it feels like it takes Mario Tennis Ultra Smash and just adds, you know, I think what is necessary for a Mario Tennis game. We got a story mode, there are some new little gimmicks or mechanics in the game. So for the most part, I don't know, I would say Mario Tennis Aces is, you know, just the baseline Mario Tennis game, I guess. It doesn't do anything crazy, but it doesn't necessarily do anything that I think makes it a bad game at all. And speaking of games that I feel totally neutral about, Mario Golf Super Rush. Honestly, was really surprised that we saw a new Mario Golf game on the Switch. I think the Super Rush mechanic is kind of cool. You know, it adds another element to the golf gameplay. My main thing is that I wish the actual like running to the ball mechanic was more hectic. Like, I wish you could fight your opponents or something like that. You know, basically a Mario Party minigame in between your swings. But besides that, you know, it's golf. It's definitely golf with Mario. There is an adventure mode or like a story mode, which feels a lot more familiar to the handheld Mario sports games, which were pretty much just full-on RPGs. In this one, I think it's pretty like bland, if I'm not gonna lie. I remember finishing the story and it just ends so suddenly and anticlimactic. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a fine golf game in general. I just feel like there was a lot of potential with the actual like running to your ball and stuff, you know. They could have made that really more sort of like a party game type of feel. And then of course we have Mario Strikers Battle League, which was really sad because I love Mario Strikers. My brother and I used to play Mario Strikers all the time when we were growing up, and I feel like we get Mario Strikers games just so few and far between. So with Battle League, I was excited to play Mario Strikers on the Switch, you know, I get to play Mario Strikers again, like that was so exciting. I played the game for like a weekend and I never played it again. I wish this game had more to it, like this was just the most missed potential game, I feel like. Oops, I'm dropping it, that's how little I care about it. No, I just wish that there was more to this game, even just if they had done the treatment that they did for golf and tennis for strikers. You know, even just by including a story mode, that could have added so much more actual content to this game. But no, for the most part, you know, you just play Mario Strikers, and if you don't have any friends like me, you just play against the computers. Like, I just wish that they put more into this game. It's just so kind of bare bones. So as excited as I was for Mario Strikers, it just, you know, I wish there was more to it. And on the topic of multiplayer, of course we can't have a Nintendo console without Mario Party. We had 3 Mario Party games released on the Nintendo Switch, starting with Super Mario Party, which was basically a refresh of the Mario Party series. It was super exciting when we got a trailer for a Mario Party game and there was no car mechanic, thank goodness. With that being said, you know, they like fixed one thing in Super Mario Party and then there's a whole bunch of other problems now. It felt like with Super Mario Party, they were kind of forced to do sort of a Joy-Con tech demo. Because for one thing, you can only play Super Mario Party with a single Joy-Con on its side. Not a very comfortable controller method. There are also so many motion-based mini-games or even game modes in Super Mario Party. I mean, heck, every time you start up the game, you have to swing your Joy-Con like you're giving everyone a high five. Like, that's kind of crazy. I guess the best way I can describe it is like, Super Mario Party feels more like a Wii party game compared to an actual Mario Party game. I don't know, something about even just the dice and the spaces on the board, they feel a lot less Mario-like. And speaking of the boards, I mean the boards themselves, there are not too many exciting things going on with these boards. So although, we went back to the basics with Mario Party, everyone rolls their own dice and we're not moving in a single car, but it kind of felt like it also took 2 steps back in a way. Basically, it's a step up from Mario Party 10, but this ain't no like Mario Party 6. But what was a Mario Party 6 quite literally was Mario Party Superstars, because this game takes all of the classic Mario Party games and just kind of mashes it all together. Well, kind of, because the boards in this game you'll find are from only the N64 Mario Party games, so Mario Party 1, 2, and 3. However, with the mini games, that's where they sort of combined all of the Mario Party games together. This was just super exciting to see, all of the classic Mario Party games that we love in new HD graphics on the Switch. No longer were you forced to use a single Joy-Con on its side, and this was also the first Mario Party game to fully introduce online gameplay. Now you could either do matchmaking or private lobbies with your friends on all of the Mario Party Superstars game boards. They did eventually add online to Super Mario Party, but at least when the game first came out, there was little to no online. All you got was the online Mario-thon, which was basically a high score based sort of minigame mode. So this was really cool to finally get a Mario Party game that you could play online with your friends or people around the world. I remember so many people streaming this, which was really cool to see. All these online streamers that never leave the house could finally play a Mario Party game together, and I feel comfortable saying that because I am one of those people who never leave the house. So Mario Party Superstars was just kind of like a treat to get, it just celebrates all things Mario Party. I love it. And we also got one final party on the Nintendo Switch with Super Mario Party Jamboree. When this game first came out, I was pretty confident in saying that this is sort of the definitive version of Mario Party to get on the Switch. It pretty much takes everything from Super Mario Party that was kind of a dud and just fixes it with Mario Party Jamboree. You aren't forced to use a Joy-Con for your controllers, you could use a Pro Controller or, any controller. They made the boards in this game so much more interesting, like there's so much more characters and theming to all of the boards compared to Super Mario Party. Lots of extra game modes, pretty much most of the game can be played online. They even did some of what they did with Mario Party Superstars and included classic boards and mini games in Mario Party Jamboree. However, I will say when I actually go back to this game now, I still think this is a darn good Mario Party game on the Switch. However, I think some of the mini games can feel a bit repetitive now that I look back at it. The ratio of really fun mini games to sort of mini games that I dread seeing pop up, I don't know, I go back and forth whether or not I actually like the mini game selection in Mario Party Jamboree. So I think in general, I would say this is like the best Mario Party game to get on the Switch. However, I look at just the very solid lineup of mini games and boards in Superstars and, I love this game. Basically, Mario Party Jamboree feels like it takes the DNA of Super Mario Party and Mario Party Superstars and just mashes it together, which does mean that you still get some of the not so great parts of Super Mario Party while also getting the awesome parts of Mario Party Superstars. But we also did get a decent lineup of Mario RPG games, which I just now realize is a bit redundant because now I'm just saying Mario role-playing games. Anyway, you know what I mean, we got Mario RPGs. It of course started with Super Mario RPG, which is a remake of the Super Nintendo game. As someone who has never played the original Super Mario RPG, this was really interesting to play for the first time on the Switch. But this is another one of these games where I think if you find it on sale, that would be the best time to get it, because for the most part, this is still very much just a Super Nintendo game. I mean, don't get me wrong, Super Nintendo games can still be amazing today. For example, A Link to the Past, Super Metroid, and you do get some quality of life changes. The main one I can remember being the fact that there is an easy mode for this game, and of course you get the new HD graphics complete with full-on cutscenes. So this is more than just a remaster or a re-release of Super Mario RPG. I just don't know if it's worth the full price, but it is still very much an enjoyable game, a very nice, lovely little package. And speaking of re-releases, we also had Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. This was an exciting game to get just because I know how much people love this game. I'm not gonna lie, the first time I played The Thousand Year Door, which I streamed on Twitch, for me the main thing about this game that I'll always remember is the final boss. That final boss is ridiculous, which has honestly made me a bit sort of worried to go back to this game ever. I don't know, do you guys ever get that where there's a game that you really enjoy, like, and you really just had a fun time playing, but it's such a sort of draining and like extensive experience that you don't know if you ever want to go back to it. The games that I think about that for are like, you know, The Last of Us Part 2, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and also Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. By no means do I think it's a bad game, or do I think there's anything wrong with saying that this is your favorite game that you love to replay over and over. It's just, for me, it was so just emotionally and mentally draining that I don't know how often I could continue going back to this game. In any case, this Nintendo Switch version gets some pretty cool upgrades. First off, the graphics get a pretty decent overhaul, I would say. I don't know if it's anything crazy where, like, you know, the first time I see the game, my eyes explode or anything like that, but it's a very just, you know, solid upgrade where there are reflections on the ground, or you get, you know, higher quality shadows and whatnot. So it's just a very solid and kind of welcomed upgrade for the graphics. There are some really small quality of life changes as well. For example, there's a new character wheel that lets you easily access all of your party. So this is another one of these re-releases where I feel like it stays true to the original source material. For me, I just get excited for the people who are excited about this game. And also, you know, after years and years of the original Paper Mario: Thousand Year Door on GameCube selling for like hundreds of dollars, it's nice that we now have a just, you know, official version that we can easily access for a regular price of a game. And we just couldn't stop with RPGs because we also got Mario and Luigi Brothership on the Nintendo Switch. The first brand new Mario and Luigi game since Paper Jam, or if you don't count Paper Jam as a mainline Mario and Luigi game, then there was Dream Team. And also, you know, Alpha Dream, the developers of Mario and Luigi, went out of business, so this was a really surprising game to get on the Nintendo Switch. Unfortunately, you know, there was some major drama when IGN dropped a 5 out of 10 score for this game. And from what I've heard, I think there are a lot of mixed opinions about this game. The main one that I hear a lot is just the fact that it feels like this game goes through a tutorial for, you know, the first half of the game, basically. I have not finished Brothership yet, but from what I've played so far, I think I might be in the minority because I'm actually enjoying this game quite a bit. I guess I can understand where people's criticisms are coming from, but for me, I don't know, Mario and Luigi Brothership has been a game where I can just kind of like relax and enjoy it at a really slow pace. I think the battles are pretty fun to play, and this is one of the few games where I don't mind too much about grinding. Usually with RPGs, that's my biggest thing, is just I hate grinding. You know, when I think of like Pokemon, for example, leveling up my Pokemon is the most tedious task I could ever think of. With Mario and Luigi Brothership, I don't know, I actually don't mind going into battles. I think there are like just enough unique battle mechanics where, you know, I find it interesting and exciting. But I guess we'll see what I think of this game as I continue playing it. But those are all of the Mario games on the Nintendo Switch, at least that I could think of and I have in my collection. Although there might be a game where I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot to include that one. But overall, I think we have a very solid and healthy variety of Mario games on Nintendo Switch. I posted a video on my main Chase Yama channel going over my top Nintendo Switch games, and I received so many comments on that video basically saying like, okay, so this top 10 Nintendo Switch games list is just a Mario list. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, look at all the Mario games. I feel like Mario just has so much variety to the point where, you know, there is a game for everyone. Whether you want an RPG or maybe you want a sports game or, you know, whatever you want, there is a Mario game out there for you. Although I guess we do still need a Mario shooter. In any case, let me know in the comments what is your guys' favorite Mario game on the Nintendo Switch. If you want to see another one of my videos celebrating Mario Day, check out the video below. For now, thank you so much for watching. My name is Chase and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.